Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day, Comcast Channel 187, 43.6. We're glad you're here. We're going to be talking about terrorism and all the things, all the bad things going on around the world these days. Hey, the conflict between the Israelis and Hamas, what's going on between Russia and the Ukraine, and other hot spots around the world. We'll even put up the photos of the top 5 terrorists around the world as described by the U.S. government. 436 MeTV option 11. Do call in. Do turn down the sound. Back here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. Another week has gone by. It is Friday. We're here for the full 60 minutes, 1 hour from 10 to 11 here, and you can call in at 436 MeTV option 11. When you do call in, please turn down the sound, because you have to understand that when you're at home watching, there is a delay, and so if you've got the television up, there's going to be a problem if you're on the phone, because you're going to hear that delay and everything will be so confusing between the studio and yourself, and it's just better and easier if you just turn that sound down. Anyway, today a lot to talk about, because there's so many things going on around the world, so many bad things. The conflict between the Israelis and Hamas, what's going on with the Ukraine, of course, and Russia, and that plane that went down over a week ago now. And so many hot spots to talk about, and so many terrorists to talk about. And what's the threat right here in the Central Valley? That being the focal point as well here on the program today. But yesterday, we're going to start, of course, with the conflict over in the Middle East. Yesterday, one of the deadliest days on record between Hamas and the Israelis, the conflict there. 16 people reportedly killed in a school, that according to the UN. Let's take the map. I want to show you where Gaza is located in relation to Israel. This is it right here. It borders Egypt and Israel, roughly about 6.5 miles wide by 32 miles long. Gaza, which was granted the right of self-governing body by Israel back in '94, sits on the edge of the Mediterranean Sea, as you can see, right next to, and it borders Israel. All right, the videotape. Each side blames each other for the attack, but people in the school claim they heard 3 to 5 blasts, and they accuse Israel of sending over those rockets that exploded. Most of the victims in this case, women and children. The UN said it could not confirm where those blasts came from on this day 17, or now day 18 of the bloody conflict over there. It's Saturday morning over there already. An Israeli military spokesman said that Israel had asked the UN and the Red Cross to evacuate the school because Palestinian militants and the Israeli army were right nearby. Hey, nonetheless, so far 800 Palestinians or more have been killed, 35 Israelis, 32 of those have been soldiers. Gaza is controlled by Hamas, considered a terrorist organization. Secretary of State John Kerry, not sure what good it's going to do, but he is still pushing for a 7-day ceasefire, according to one official involved in the talks that could begin Sunday. Live in our studio right now, Rachel Martin. She is the National Chair of Homeland Security for the Republican Women. She works along with Homeland Security, not for Homeland Security, but she is a security expert, a Homeland Security expert, and a terrorist expert. She is here to take your phone calls. 436 MeTV option 11. We're going to put up some photos too of the top 5 terrorists around the nation. Don't know if you'll recognize any of these people. I certainly can't pronounce any of their names, but you're welcome to call in and comment about what's going on in Gaza. Ask Rachel any kind of questions that you have regarding terrorism. Is there a threat here in the Central Valley? That certainly is a key point and a key point of contention right here on this program today. We're back with our program in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here on the program today, a very serious topic. Now remember, we're here live each and every day now, 1 hour, the full 60 minutes until 11 o'clock, and you're more than welcome to call in. Do turn down the sound. Today we're talking about terrorism, what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on between Russia and Vladimir Putin, and of course the eastern part of Ukraine where that plane went down more than a week ago. Rachel Martin is here working alongside Homeland Security. How are you, Rachel? Glad you could be here today.
Thank you. So am I.
All right. Let's get right to the conflict. The Israelis, of course, hit first by Hamas, rockets going into Israel. Each side blames each other. What, in your opinion, what's really going on here?
I believe what is really going on is a collaborative effort between the terrorist organizations, Hamas at the lead right now, and Russia. I honestly do, but just because of what's going on between Russia trying to take over the Ukraine, and I think that they're utilizing Hamas to help take over other parts of Eastern Europe and completely dominate. But once Putin gets the terrorist organizations to do what he wants them to do, I mean, he has the power because he has the money. And then he'll just go from there. He'll take it all over. I mean, he is on a mission to take back the Soviet Union, to rise the Soviet Union back again.
So explain in detail again, because I'm curious about this. What is Putin's involvement in this Middle East conflict with Hamas? Is he supplying weapons, money? What is it?
I believe it's money. I don't think weapons at this point, because weapons can be traced.
Okay.
And he's a very smart man. And he doesn't want anything traced back to them. And if he just gives them the funding and then they collaborate together. And Hamas is already on their own mission. They already want to take out all of the Israelis. I mean, that's been going on for centuries.
Right.
But so that's nothing new. So Vladimir Putin is, like I said, he's a very intelligent man. And he said, here's this group that wants to, go in and take out all the Israelis and take back what they say is their land. And let's just utilize them. Let's fund them, give them the ability to do what they're going to do. And that also helps my agenda.
Right. So, this is I don't know how you resolve something like this. This conflict has been going on for centuries, as you said.
Yes.
After World War II, of course, Israel got their slice. What we call Israel now.
Right.
The Palestinians and the Muslims who were there at the time feel they were pushed out by the Israelis. But the Israelis say, oh, wait a minute, this was our land to begin with originally. And so how do you resolve that conflict, that biblical, religious conflict that's been going on since probably before Jesus was born?
Right. I don't think that there is going to ever be any permanent resolution because it is a religious war. And when you're in other wars, people are fighting or countries are fighting for a reason. They want territory, they want money, they want water, they want oil, whatever it is that they want, that's what they're fighting for. But when you look at these wars, this is all about religion, and that cause never changes. You never stop fighting for your God, and that's what Hamas is doing with Allah. And of course, in Israel, they're Christians. So they're always going to defend their nation. They're always going to defend their religious beliefs. That is never going to stop. There will always be some sort of war going on, so it can never be diminished, but it can be minimalized and it can be controlled. And it was controlled for so long. Israel had peace, and now it's all-out war.
Well, listen, every president that I can think of, and I'm going to get back to Vladimir Putin here, but every president that I can think of in my lifetime, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Bush 1, Bill Clinton, none of these people, Bush too, none of these people could solve this Israeli-Hamas/Palestinian conflict. None of them. Clinton came close when Yasser Arafat was alive, but it never got resolved. So what does that tell you?
It tells me that it can't be resolved, but we do need to come to aid. We do need to help them. We have helped them in the past, and that's how they were able to keep control. And right now, President Obama isn't doing anything to help them. He hasn't put any sanctions. He hasn't laid down any demands. He hasn't laid down any deadlines for them. And, you know, and of course he's not going to lay down any threats, because how many threats has he laid down in the past and then, you know, didn't enforce them? I mean, the man has been slapped in the face so many times by Putin, by terrorists, and because of that, I mean, that's not only a slap in the face to him, it's a slap in the face to United States security, because they know that is our commander-in-chief, and if our commander-in-chief isn't doing anything about the situation and is allowing people to just literally step on him and slam him and continually tell him no, 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 that opens the door to the United States for us to be hit by terrorists, bombs, weapons, nuclear weapons. I mean, they're there. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
In your opinion, who has pushed Obama around besides Putin?
Putin the most, but with the terrorists, I think that they, I don't know if they're necessarily pushing him around, but they have a strong presence and they're not standing down, and he's not doing anything about it. And, you know, that's a big question that I have in my mind, because there are so many different things that he's doing and not doing that are telling me that there's a bigger picture to all of this, and President Obama plays a huge part in it.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to all this talk about Putin and Obama in just a moment here, talking to Rachel Martin. She works alongside Homeland Security right here in this country and knows a lot about terrorism and terrorists and what's going on in the Middle East. Your phone calls are important. 436-ME-TV option 11. We'll talk to, hey, we got till 11 o'clock. We're going to talk about the possibilities of a terror attack coming to this country, and maybe specifically right here in the Central Valley. You might think that, hey, we're in the center of California. Who's going to bother us? What could they do to us? They're not going to even look at us, right? Maybe not. Maybe we're wrong about that. Back in just a moment.
Don't you ever hit me again!
Chief, I think we got a hit on our hands.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
Welcome back here to the program on Connect with Me, Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. The topic today is terrorism. I know that's top of mind for a lot of people these days. Considering what's going on around the world, we don't want it ending up on our doorstep again like 9/11. Good morning, caller. What's your question?
Hello?
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Oh, okay, great. I was trying to make sure I had this muted down the way. Okay. Yeah, I heard what she first said about Gaza Strip and what was going on there. I appreciate the information she said. Now, and nobody seems to want to help, and the other guy who's, I guess, really ingenious about hiding his participation there. But what I want to know is what is this a good time for someone to step in and address the issue there? If I don't know if this is even appropriate to mention, but it almost sounds like, we used to talk about it. It's a good time for Jesus to come, just put on, the Mount of Olives, as it is written. Or is that a consideration or in the mind of people that are involved with this emotionally? Of course, because you mentioned it being a religious thing. I think a lot of people will be praying for that.
Yeah. A lot of people have talked about that, the second coming, of course, with the big conflict prior to that. So this being a religious war kind of lines up with that way of thinking.
Yes, and you know, I have read the Bible a couple of times myself, and this is just another sign of the coming end. Do I think this is the end? No, I don't, because there are many signs that have yet to be met. But this is definitely a religious war, and like I said earlier, you know, this has been going on for centuries, and will continue to. And I think that people do need to pray. We need to pray for the people that are over there in the line of fire, and we need to pray that it doesn't hit the homeland of the United States, because we are susceptible right now.
Right. All right, caller, I appreciate the comments coming from your end, and you're welcome to call in at 436-MeTV, option 11. Vladimir Putin, how heavy-handed is he, and how big a role does he play in this conflict with Hamas, in your opinion? Is he sending millions of dollars over there? Is he sending just enough money to keep Hamas going? I don't know that you can be specific on that. I don't think anybody really knows. But
no.
your best guess at this point, working with Homeland Security?
My best guess is that he's giving them enough money just to keep them going for his agenda. You know, and
his agenda being what?
To take over Eastern United States, Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe and maybe part of the Middle East?
Yes, I think he wants to have control over all of it.
And he wants to regenerate.
He
wants to regenerate. You were telling me the old Soviet Union.
Well, you know, and a lot of the Soviets want it back. They liked communism because no one was ever starving, even though you know, people lived minimally. No one ever starved, and you know, once they got rid of the Soviet Union and it wasn't a communist country anymore, people were starving. They didn't know what to do with themselves. Yeah. They weren't getting their rations that were usually handed out and so forth.
Another call? Go ahead, caller. Caller?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on the air.
I just have one question and kind of a comment. The first question is, the qualifications of your guest, you said were that she works next to Homeland Security. I don't really understand what that means and what her qualifications are to be making the statements she does, and to, you know, I've voted different ways many times, but to insult the President of the United States like she just did, I mean, I can understand to have different views and to express them strongly, but those were just downright insults. And I'd like to have her comment on that. The other thing is, they've been fighting in the Middle East. I'm talking about recently. The last 20 years, there's been, 3 to 4 invasions of Gaza by Israelis, and maybe they have the right. But what president has ever done anything about it? They got stepped on. They couldn't do anything about it. And now, because this is happening, you're blaming the president.
Well,
so I just take the answer on the phone. I mean, on the air.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, caller. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I can't speak directly at your qualifications. I'll let you explain that yourself.
Actually, I work with and not for, being that I am not a paid employee. I'm an appointed chairman, and I am informed on a daily basis from federal agencies, federal law enforcement, Department of Justice on what is going on. There's so much information that I intercept that the general public just isn't made aware of, including terrorists that are stopped on a daily basis here in the United States. I mean, if the general public were aware of how many terrorists we stop, how many terrorists that we've caught, the weapons that we've found, including bombs, I mean, you would be amazed and shocked. And what I try to do is get that information out to the general public. And I mean, we need to appreciate our safety. And I'm sorry if you're offended by my comments about our president, but I'm simply stating facts. He hasn't stepped up. He's not protecting other countries. In one sense, he's telling the world, I care about you, and so I'm going to give children amnesty if they come to the United States, and because I'm a caring president and I care about other countries. And then on the other hand, he's turning his back to Israel, who's one of our strongest allies and the second strongest military in the world. We cannot afford to lose that ally, period. I don't understand why he's not stepping up to the game. And again, stating facts.
What should he be doing that he's not doing? Real quick, we got to go to break, but maybe we should wait because that's probably too long an answer. But we're going to continue with our conversation with Rachel Martin. She works alongside Homeland Security. She does have the credentials, my friend, so do not question that. And if you need to call in and ask her again, I mean, she can clearly explain it. She gets these reports each and every day. Oh, we have a phone call? Okay, another phone call. Let's take it before the break. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, John. I was, my personal belief is that, the government uses the media to influence and I guess you could say brainwash its people into believing what they want us to believe. And in reality, it's our government that is involved in training these terrorists, but like we found with 9/11, these guys were taught how to fly here in the United States and so on. And so since we we really can't trust our government, and especially Obama. I mean, nothing personal, but he's not really a president. He's more of a figurehead. So I was wondering, our security expert with you this morning, I was just curious as to what her opinion is, what her belief is on that matter. Why is it that we can't get a straight answer? Why we're kept from the truth by our own government? And, so many other countries don't like Americans when it's not really the Americans' fault. We're being buffaloed by our own government. And I guess my question is, since we really can't trust the government, they're very manipulative, what does she think, or is there a source out there where we can go on the internet or whatnot to get the truth, and if security in this country is an issue and people's lives are at stake and we can't rely on our government, what is it that, as individuals, what is it that we can do to acquire the truth, the proper information, and what is it that we can do personally to protect ourselves and our families?
Okay, great call. Thank you for that comment. Go ahead, Rachel.
Well, I would say, as far as protecting yourself, you can be aware of your surroundings and get in touch with your local law enforcement. If you have a computer and internet, you can go to FBI.gov, you can go to DOJ.gov. There are so many different agencies that you can find on the web that will give you a wealth of information that is not, of course, like I said, fed through the media. And the reason why I think the media isn't telling anyone, it's not on a daily basis, is because if they were constantly reporting that, it just would be old news and it's not new news, and it would scare the Americans. I mean, let's go back to Y2K. Remember the big scare, and everyone was out and they were buying, everything that they could off the shelves and storing whatever they could, and there was a bit of chaos.
Turn of the new century,
right? The turn of the century. There was a bit of chaos, and people were scared and doing things out of the ordinary. And I know that that's something that they want to prevent. They don't want chaos. They don't want havoc. They don't want riots. They don't want people demanding action, because if we get to that step, and sometimes it's just not necessary. So sometimes preventative maintenance is good, but again,
in other words, you don't want to create havoc or panic.
No, they don't. But I do think that right now, with our threat level being so high because of what is going on in Europe, that people do need to be aware They do need to contact their local agencies, because the local agencies are trained. There have been collaborative training efforts between the Department of Justice and your local law enforcement agencies that are training them as far as recognizing terrorists and terrorist activity.
Got to take a break. Rachel Martin is here, works alongside Homeland Security, our security expert here on Connect with Me, 436-MeTV, option 11. A lot to talk about. I wish we had 2 hours today instead of 1. Back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start, but you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program today, I asked you before the break, what should, and a lot to talk to, and as you answer that, I want to roll the monologue video one more time. Gaza City, at nighttime, the explosions going off, one after the other, Israeli bombing the Gaza. Yesterday they hit that school, 16 people killed, more than 800 Palestinians killed in Gaza. What should the president be doing that he's not doing? Because is he showing weakness? Is he showing that he has no backbone? He's indecisive, that he can't make a decision or stand up for anything.
Well, he should be at the very least aiding Israel. They are our ally.
And he's not doing that right now.
No, he has basically turned his back on Israel. I mean, we should.
In what way?
He's not helping them in any way. He's not sending military.
He's not talking to Netanyahu,
he's not sending,
is he? Well,
no.
I mean, John Kerry's over there in the Middle East trying to negotiate a ceasefire, 7-day ceasefire. Is that helping?
No, obviously not. It's been a few days already and nothing has helped.
A call coming in. Good morning, caller. What's your question?
I've been watching with some good deal of interest your guest talking about the state of unrest in the Middle East. I have 2 questions. Number one, how does Syria, what kind of a threat do you think Syria is going to present in the short and in the long term? And then my second question is, your guest advocating a military response on the part of the American president, or are you suggesting trade sanctions, diplomatic back channel solution?
Okay.
Are you saying we should be actively involved militarily to assist the Israelis? I mean, it's nice that, of course, the sentiment of the country is in favor of the Israeli, if you have to pick a side. But for substance, what do we do to show, I don't know, good intention? How do we do it?
We got it. Thank you for the call. Which one do you want to take first?
Well, I as far as aiding Israel, and whether we do military or if we lay down some sanctions, I think that there's an immediate need for some military presence, for some assist
by the United States.
By the United States
in the Middle East to aid Israel.
Absolutely, and you know, and by them aiding Israel, no, I don't. But by them aiding Israel, they're also aiding the Palestinians. So you know, it's a win-win ultimately, because you know, and it's best said that Israel is using their missiles to protect the civilians. Hamas is using the civilians to protect their missiles.
They're using their own civilians, I've heard, and they've been accused of using them as human shields.
Yes.
But if the United States is supposed to be viewed upon as this peacemaking nation to broker a deal between the two sides, Obama can't exactly send our military over there to aid and abet the Israelis, right? Because it's like picking sides.
The United States is viewed as a peacemaking country by certain people. Ultimately, the United States has always been looked at as, you know, the strongest nation in the world, the strongest military. We've always been looked at as the country that other countries, when they're in desperate need, can come to. And we will help them.
Israel's in desperate need right now.
And our strongest ally.
Okay. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Oh, no call? Okay. That call dropped. Okay, so the president should be aiding Israel, even from a military standpoint, even with sanctions against Hamas. Now, you were telling me earlier, and I want to roll that tape one more time, the Gaza City one, because I just want to show the public what's going on. I mean, bombs are going off. Thousands of these rockets are being launched at Israel. Israel is responding. Has this government, the President of the United States, Obama, supplied weapons to Hamas?
They have supplied weapons and millions, multi-millions of dollars, if not billions, to Palestine, which is generally run by Hamas. And so, I mean, if you want to read between the fine lines, yes.
You're saying
now
that
legally, with the way that it's written up, and we look at it on the books, no, money has not been given directly to Hamas.
Indirectly.
Indirectly, all of the signs are there. You can't ignore them.
Okay, what about these tunnels, supposedly, that the Palestinians or Hamas have built just near the border of Israel in Gaza to try to, they smuggle weapons and people inside of Israel. That's what Israel's trying to destroy, those tunnels.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Are they doing a good job of that, or are they like this school yesterday? I mean, we don't really know if that was an Israeli missile or if that was really Hamas blowing themselves up.
Right. And there's no immediate way to find out, because...
Even by the UN or even by our satellites, huh?
No, and I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that it was from Israel. Israel does not want to hurt anyone. They will defend if they have to, and people will get hurt in the meanwhile.
But they won't be the aggressor. Caller,
right.
You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to know, okay, I'm talking to girls online in the Ukraine, and I had, I hadn't been invited to go over and visit them. But when I watch the news, I'm thinking, this don't look like a good time to be in a plane to get shut down just to go visit somebody over there, which I'm at a loss because I don't know what to do. And, I'm trying to talk to them through some dating service online. What is your recommendation? Because this is a real big concern of mine.
Go ahead.
I say don't go. Don't go at all right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to the Middle East. I mean,
no.
I wouldn't go to the Ukraine either, or
no.
Russia.
No, I would say try some dating services here in the United States.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, there are quite a few out there, so.
I'm not sure I'd recommend that either. We have another call. You're laughing. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Go ahead.
Yeah, how can we say that the U.S. hasn't given the Hamas money when the Senate passed a bill to bring Hamas over here and put them in housing, give them Medicare and a stipend every month, and they haven't worked one day or paid any tax into the U.S. economy?
I'm sorry, what is your question?
How can you say we haven't aided the Hamas?
Oh, I'm not saying that we haven't. I'm saying the way that it is on paper.
The enemy. When do we become friends with them? When do we make friends with Iraq and Iran?
She never said what you're indicating. Okay, just to clarify, okay, maybe we need to clarify the situation. You're saying that indirectly, I'll let you say it, this country has supplied weapons to who indirectly?
To Syria and Palestine.
Okay. And so those weapons and that money eventually gets siphoned off to Hamas. Now, we had one previous caller call up and ask about the threat from Syria. Is Syria a threat at this point? And are they giving money to Hamas and weapons as well?
I think they have their own terrorist organizations, and some of the terrorist organizations are tied into each other and some aren't. But ultimately, they all have the same goal.
What's Syria's role in this conflict right now?
You know what? I couldn't tell you that.
Okay. All right. But do you suspect that there is a role there someplace, that Assad is aiding and abetting maybe the militants, the Hamas group, the terrorist group?
I'm not sure. I know that they do collaborate, but I'm not sure if this particular instance that they're involved.
Yeah, the security reports that you're seeing on a daily basis don't indicate that right now. Okay, good. All right. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Caller.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm calling this. Hi.
Hi. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, John. I am watching the program, and it's wonderful the one you have on. And I'm just wondering, how can we really blame Obama for everything like this when he is a suspected Muslim himself? Isn't there story? No, isn't there stories of things that are around that are proven that he is?
All right, good question.
Yes, and I have a lot to say about that, but I think our caller from earlier might call back in.
Just tell us what's on you. Don't worry about the callers, what they think.
You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You know, if you look at there's the Masons, there's secret groups, and there are families that are predestined by their parents for greatness. And the Clintons are a prime example. You know, they were destined for greatness. Their lives were pretty much arranged from the very beginning. And I think that it's the same with Obama. I think that his dad decided exactly what his destiny was going to be when he was born. And that's why
Which
he was
what?
To become president of the United States and to open the door.
His dad was a Muslim.
His dad was a radical as well. And to open the door of the United States for the Muslim cause. The Muslims, the terrorists, do not like the United States. I mean, they've called the United States the snake with many heads, the Medusa, the different terms that I've heard, but none of them good.
Is the president, in your opinion, is he a Muslim?
Yes, in my opinion.
Undercover?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Got to take a break. We're here on Connect with Me, live from the showroom floor, Comcast 187, 43.6. Love all your phone calls and your feedback. That's why we're here, to get your comments. 436-MeTV, option 11. Back in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Hey, we're back here on the program, Connect with Me, Comcast 187 and 43.6. I want to roll another piece of videotape here because we're going to kind of change gears. I want to talk about the border situation down south near the Mexican border and what's going on there. Since last October, 52,000 children caught crossing the border. President Obama has called this a humanitarian situation, a crisis. 3/4 of those are accompanied that actually have come into this country, come from violent towns in 3 countries: El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras at this point. It's a crisis to be reckoned with. Under anti-trafficking statute, though, this own country passed a law, bipartisan, 2008, that minors coming from Central America cannot be deported immediately without a court hearing, unlike those who come from Mexico that can be very swiftly shown the door and out the door and out of the country. President Obama is considering whether to allow hundreds of minors and young adults from Honduras into the U.S. without making dangerous treks through Mexico. If approved, the government would have to screen thousands of children entering this country to see if they can enter the country as refugees or on an emergency humanitarian basis. Opponents say this is going to redefine the legal definition of the refugee and would increase the flow of immigration to the United States. A crisis to be reckoned with, there's no question. 50,000 plus crossing the border from Central America since October from 3 countries. Tell us what's going on here. And the question I have for you, Rachel, is does this open the door for terrorists to flood the gates through Mexico?
It already has opened the door. There are Border Patrol agents that have apprehended terrorists. Well, we can't say that they are terrorists, but they're from the Middle East and trying to pose as someone from Central America that's coming in. And a lot
have they been caught?
They have been caught.
All of them?
They have been, well, I'm not saying all of them, but they've apprehended quite a few that have come through and are trying to
they're in disguise.
Well, they blend.
Yeah.
They blend, and because they can come through undocumented, I mean, what better way to bring some terrorists in?
And so this, what other ramifications are there to this border crisis when you have so many that have come in? Rick Perry, of course, the governor of Texas, has obviously sent the National Guard, the Texas National Guard, to the border because he's saying the president isn't addressing the problem.
No, he's not, and that would be him going back on his word, basically, because he's allowed this, and again, he to the world wants to be looked at as, you know, the loving, kind president. I mean, he'll be out of office in a couple of years, and when he does, he wants people to remember him as the president that, you know, made their dreams come true, and brought them to safety. And is it a terrible situation that people are in Central America and they're in danger, and you can take off being susceptible to the gangs and it's horrifying.
So it's putting us at risk is basically what you're saying. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I'm calling into question the timing of these refugees, these orphans, or I guess these unaccompanied minors that are trying to make their way into the United States. Why now? Why, when immigration reform is is first and foremost in the public consciousness? Isn't this a little suspect? It seems to me like the timing on this seems to be ideal for the cause of immigration reform. Am I wrong about that?
You know, I'm glad that you asked that, because I think that the timing it fits in to an overall agenda that I'm seeing behind the scenes. You know, with what's going on with Obama, he stood down to President Putin, and he
in the Syrian crisis, right?
Yeah, and many things with Snowden as well.
Okay.
You know, we should have never have allowed that to happen. The guy is a treasonist. He should be here in the United States paying for his crime. And now he's over there giving away classified information that can work against the United States, against our homeland security. You know, and then after that, after, you know, Putin said absolutely not, then Obama goes back and, okay, I'm going to step aside from that. But there, and then he trades 5 top known terrorists, but for a military officer who denounced himself from the U.S. military, but won't bring back a decorated officer that's in Mexico, our neighboring country,
who's still there,
and that was just a huge mistake, and I can go on with that. But why is he allowing this? And then the border crisis, and then he's not, and another thing, he's not going in and he's not helping, you know, Israeli from being attacked by the terrorists. He's empowering them.
Everything it coincides, is what you're saying, and
absolutely
in effect, putting our country at risk.
Absolutely puts our country at risk.
Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Caller, go ahead. Caller?
Hello?
Yeah,
yes.
Caller, you're on the air. Go.
Yes, I want to ask a question. You know, she's talking about the president not doing enough to secure the border. But, you know, the problem wasn't that. He gets criticized for everything, global and everything. But, you know, 25, 30 years ago, when I was supervising plants, whose fault was it that allowed a lot of the undocumented workers to work? A lot of the plant managers and plant owners allowed that to happen for 20 years. Now that there's no work and all that, they're here, legal or illegal. But I take a lot of the problems that occurred was the plant owners allowing these people to work. And who's going to work out in the fields 110 degrees? I definitely know that she wouldn't want to work out in the fields doing all the picking, harvesting, and whatnot. And I'm not blaming her.
Yeah.
And this is all across every state in the union. But
all right,
it's gone that far, and I just want to just say something.
Okay.
And then that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for the call. Do we have to take a break? We do. All right. Back in a moment here on Connect with Me. Little time left. Comcast 187 and 43.6. We're back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Frigidaire Gallery appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start, but you really should touch the merchandise before you buy.
Time for that upgrade to an Energy Star qualified French door Frigidaire Gallery refrigerator.
Quality appliances for the way you live. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise.
We're back here on Connect with me. So, Rachel, that last caller, I don't know if you want to address his concerns real quick.
I agree that, you know, the president is getting a lot of criticism, and the problem has been around much longer than him being in office. But that's not the issue. The issue is that there are things that need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed now. And as far as working in the fields and the people that come over from Mexico and you know, even Central America to come here to work, I think that's great, because that's the American dream. I have friends that came here from Mexico and were deported 3 times during their childhood, finally became citizens, and all ended up graduating from Ivy League schools and are now major contributors back to society. That's the American dream. And what has changed so much is that we're not enticing people with coming here and making a better life for themselves and their children. Right now, it seems that we're enticing people with come here for all the free stuff.
Yeah. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning. My name is Paul. I want to comment on the border issue. You know, I'm Hispanic. My grandmother and grandfather came in from Mexico, and they came in the right way. They did it all legally. You know, there's people. The United States cannot handle all these people now. You know, that's what certain people need to understand. At one time, we were able to care for people, and as far as they're stating, a lot of people are saying poor children, you know, and they're putting the blame on people that are picketing. No, they have to realize who's sending them over here. They should, you know, it's sad, but we cannot even take care of our own people right now. We are a boat and we're drowning. You know, and, you know, okay. I get criticized because a while back they had that march, Si Se Puede, and they, someone from Vida asked me, they asked me some questions. Well, do you know that everything that I said was not printed because they did not agree with what I said? You know, you know, I'm against the Hispanic people. No, I'm Hispanic. They have to get over that. They have to realize we're not a nation that like before. We cannot take care of other people coming here. And I do feel for the children, and we do need more border control.
All right.
Well, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, and you have a nice day.
Thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate it. We're running out of time, so I need to get to these various issues here. This border crisis opens a door for other terrorists to come in. It's putting us at risk, according to what you've said. Now, are we at risk at being hit right now? Because you were telling me prior to this program that our country could be paralyzed because our power grid, they could attack our power grid. Who's trying to attack our power grid right now, and how close are they to shutting us down as a nation?
Well, you know, China has hit us cyber-wise and shut down our power grids, shut down our water sources. And it's usually for just a few minutes because, of course, we have our firewalls and we have our experts that are able to stop that. And again, the general public isn't aware. Maybe somebody's power goes out for an hour. And I mean, how many of us have not had, you know, our power shut down for a few minutes, a few hours? And you know, we call PG&E and they say, oh, so we're working on it. Yes, they're working on it, but who's not to say that your power outage is because China just hit us through the cyber system and shut us down that way. They continually are learning more ways of how to shut us down longer and wiser. Of course, don't get me wrong, we do have our experts here on our side that are also learning how to restructure our firewalls to keep them out.
All right, caller, quickly. It's got to be quick because we're almost out of time here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Tell her to please stop blaming Obama. It's the people in the office that don't want to work with him. They keep telling them no, 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 no.
Okay.
So that's my question to her.
All right. All right. Well, I want to continue along this same line. I appreciate the phone call and the comment. So China Is Iran involved in this? Is Russia involved in this attempted shutdown of our nation, trying to get to our power grid? Is there a link between the three countries?
There's absolutely a link. Iran is known to supply support to all the terrorist organizations, and I have the list. I gave you the list, and of course, you know, you were shocked as to how many.
We're going to talk about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Different terrorist organizations.
Do you want to just put those terrorist organizations up right now? We can put them up on the screen. Hamas is obviously at the top of the list. We can't show them all. This is just a shortened list. As a matter of fact, the list is so long we couldn't put it up on the screen of the terrorist groups. I think we do have a call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. I just want to say that the Israelis, which I am a supporter of, actually, of what they're doing, but I think some of the statements are a little wrong. I think the thing that's protecting Israel now is Iron Dome, and Iron Dome provided by the Obama administration. And as far as the technology, and then they gave them millions of dollars to perfect it. Also, the F-16 is provided, and I just saw in the news the other day that they received another, I think, 12 F-16s, and they're the largest recipients of foreign aid and also military aid, and that has increased under the Obama administration.
Okay.
So I just want to have a little comment on that.
All right,
please.
go ahead.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, quickly. We're almost out of time here, so go.
I disagree.
Okay, you disagree wholeheartedly?
Not wholeheartedly, but some of that is not fact.
Which part?
Well, the amount of money that's been sent, you know, under the Obama administration to help them. And again, with the big picture, you can't just help one country without helping the other and making it look bad. And so there's some balance going on. And, you know, Obama is, I mean, he's wise, he's savvy. I'm not saying that. He is an intelligent man. He is
right.
our president. But as our commander-in-chief, I'm scared.
Yeah. All right. This is the I know we put the terrorist groups up there. Let's put them up one more time. But before we do, look at this list of terrorists. I have 3 pages of terrorist groups. These groups have been identified by our own government, the United States government, as being terrorist organizations. There's just a list of 5 of them. Hamas topping the list. Al-Qaeda there. 3 different versions of Al-Qaeda. I can't even pronounce some of those names, that one name at the end there. Anyway, if we're hit, if our power is shut down, they're going to hit our ports, you're telling me?
Yeah, I fear that what is going to happen is they are going to hit our ports, which will paralyze our ability to import anything. I mean, forget the fact that we can't export. That's not necessary to our survival. But importing is, especially with what's going on right here in California, how, you know, with the water crisis, it's minimalized our production of food.
So are we at risk of being hit right here in the Central Valley?
Yes, we are.
In terms of what, water, food?
Of water and food, yes. You know, some people realize that the valley feeds our country. Our food in our valley feeds the world. We have so much food from here that's grown here in Central Valley that goes out. We're the bread basket of the world, as we're called, and it's a fact.
All right, caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I would like to just say to the several people that have called in and think that wonderful woman sitting there talking is out of line regarding Obama.
Go ahead.
I would just like to know if anybody out there listening, not listening, hanging around, whatever it is, can tell me another president who does what he wants, when he wants, and when somebody questions him, he tells them, sue me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sue me.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty irresponsible, and I'm with your guest all the way.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. I appreciate that. You want to comment quickly on that caller?
Thank you for your support.
Okay. So if they hit our ports, if they hit our power grid and we're shut down, nothing can be imported into the country. Our water, our food, what would happen? What would the president do? What would our military do? Would we be paralyzed? Would we be in the dark? And if so, for how long?
Well, as long as they can keep us shut down. And I honestly...
What would the president do at that point? What would the military do?
with this president, I just don't know. I know that our military would step up, but to what extent? Because there are so many things that our military has wanted to do that our commander-in-chief, like the caller that just called in right now, said that, you know, we say, let's do this, and he says, no, my way or no way. And that's what I'm afraid of. You know, if we're hit here, what is he going to do? What is he going to tell the military they cannot do?
All right, before I get to anything else, I want to put up the 5 photos in any order that you want of these 5 top terrorists that the U.S. government has deemed terrorists. There's terrorist number 1. You can see up there on the monitor, Rachel. You can go ahead and pronounce his name. Is this terror guy number 1, or are these in any particular order? That
they're not in any particular order.
Okay, that's terror.
Abdullah Ahmed Abdullah.
Okay, how about the next one?
Who do we have?
Go
next?
ahead.
Oh my goodness, I know. I'm not good with the names either. I have to say them probably about 5 times.
But you know these guys.
But I'm in all, yeah.
I mean, these guys are wanted for what now?
Abdullah is the first one that you showed. He is wanted for murder of U.S. nationals outside of the United States, conspiracy to murder U.S. nationals outside of the United States, attack on federal facility resulting in death.
Okay. How about the next one? Put the next one up. That next guy that we had up there before. How about this guy? What's he wanted for?
He's wanted for the murder of U.S. nationals again, and conspiracy to murder more U.S. nationals.
Goodness. Okay.
And
next.
attack on a federal facility resulting in death.
How about this guy here?
This guy is wanted for conspiracy to kill United States nationals, to murder, to destroy buildings and the property of the United States, and to destroy national defense
All right. Two more. Go ahead.
What do we have here now? Okay.
I couldn't pronounce that guy's name, but go ahead.
Zulkifli Abdir.
Okay.
And he is wanted for providing material support to terrorists, conspiracy to provide material support to terrorists, contributing goods and services to specifically designated global terrorists.
Right. And the last one, here he is, several different pictures of him. There he is up on the screen right there.
Yeah, he's wanted for a lot here. And
murder.
As you see, he's changed his appearance many times. Actually, one of those photos looks like someone that I know. I mean, that's how well he's changing his appearance. It made me think. But yeah, he's known for murder and supplying material support and attempt to commit terrorism here on national boundaries. And
Caller, I have 30 seconds. It's going to have to be quick. I'm sorry. Make your comment.
Yes.
10 seconds.
Yes.
You got 10 seconds here. 10 seconds.
All right. Yes, I'm calling about the comments that she made about the president.
Okay.
Well, like she said, she believed in the Bible. She believed what the Bible says, and she believed in the end time. Well, it's nothing that the president do or nothing she can do. And if she say he's not doing his job, she tell her to get a gun and she go stand on the line, go over there and fight for him. It's stuff that needs to go on over here.
Rod, we can't take any more calls because we're almost out of time. I appreciate the comment, appreciate the call. I don't know if you want to comment on that, but you know what? We got 1 minute. Hey, let's roll a videotape of that plane that went down in not Malaysia, the Malaysian airliner that went down in eastern Ukraine. Of course, that was Flight 777, blown out of the sky more than a week ago. 33,000 feet. It was cruising. 298 people were on board. Most were Dutch and Australian. Most of the bodies have been recovered, not all of them. The Dutch are sending some police over there to try to recover the other remains. Put up the picture of Putin right there. Vladimir Putin, is he responsible for this in your opinion? Directly or indirectly, in your opinion?
Responsible for what part?
That shooting that plane down.
Oh, absolutely.
You think he was behind it?
Yes, he was. And again, indirectly, like with Hamas. You know, he has these radicals that he knows he has access to. He gives them money. He allows them to do what he wants them to do.
We have
and
proof
he
that he was behind it. The U.S. government has proof? Yes.
It's there.
Okay. Rachel,
it'll all come out.
Will you come back again?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right.
And
we're out of time, so I apologize. But you did an outstanding job. Thank you very much for taking all the calls. Rachel Martin, who works alongside Homeland Security, that's going to do it for us. I hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Hey, the Giants and Dodgers at AT&T Park this weekend. Monday, Al Smith, Chamber of Commerce. Have a good weekend. Go Giants.